And yeah, it's August, but get ready for another above average day with heat indices 108 to 112. That is the criteria for a heat advisory. We were spared those over the weekend because the humidity was, albeit slightly, a little bit lower. We had more of a north wind. And again, for August, nothing dramatic, but it did allow for those heat indices, or prevented the heat indices from reaching that 108, which is the criteria for a heat advisory. Well, that's long gone now. Muggies are back. Heat indices near 112, and likely later in the week we could even see heat indices exceeding 113, which would then be an excessive heat warning. Again, I know it's August, but this is not a normal August heat with the high humidity and those feel-like temperatures well above 110. That's not fairly typical, so just use precaution. In the 80s outside right now, and it is definitely more humid than we were over the weekend. Actually, the weekend evenings, again, slightly, were a little bit less humid, so they were a little more pleasant. Well, those dew point values are expected to be more mid to upper 70s for the rest of the day, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week. Today, or right now, our current temperature is 80 degrees, and notice there is a slight wind out of the southwest, so that is helping to bring back that Gulf moisture. But we at least got a few showers around. Even with the upper high, we're still able to squeeze out a few showers. It's actually a surface low. This is an upper level high, so higher into the atmosphere. A surface level low is in the Gulf, and it's actually helping to bring in a bit more moisture. So that's one leading to the higher dew points, but it's also providing for at least some chances for rain. And it really does look like, based on the model trend, even with this upper high kind of dominant, we will still have at least a few isolated showers. Nothing dramatic, but at least a few. Now, where we could see a bit more rainfall would be with this pattern. The upper high centered over us starts to weaken, becomes more dominant west of us with this upper troughing. We will fall within the, what we call the ring of fire, the area around an upper high. If there were to be an embedded disturbance, it would move right toward the Gulf Coast. As of right now, the model's not indicating anything like that, but models also don't do a great job of forecasting those well out in advance. So we will see. I'm hoping that we do get a little complex to bring us a good chance for some rain. Not that we want to see a washout this weekend, but boy, we could use it, because even with that break in the high, temperatures are going to stay in the mid 90s, which means our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook remains well above normal. And even with slightly better rain chances at only around 30%, we will still be running well below average for precipitation. Now, again, where we've been focusing on a lot more of that tropical rainfall is now Tropical Storm Ernesto. And you see from our colorized satellite here, there are thunderstorms all over the place. So this is not a very well compact storm, not a very well organized. It just barely became 40-mile-an-hour winds as of the 4 o'clock advisory with that closed off circulation. So this is just at tropical storm status. Now, it is expected to get a bit better organized as it kind of quickly clips the northeastern Caribbean, making a more dramatic turn, which interestingly enough is something that the models have been indicating since late last week. Before this was even a wave, it was just kind of a cluster of thunderstorms. It had been indicating this more dramatic turn, and sure enough, the models continue, and this turn will be a little bit more in the direction of Bermuda, so keeping it well off of the East Coast. And more good news, with the models in pretty good agreement with the future of Ernesto. Beside that named storm, look as we head toward the end of the week, weekend, and start of next week. No other areas being monitored, and the model's not picking up on anything for about the next 7 to even 10 days. So we'll take it a day at a time, but I like these stretches when the models are not overly aggressive, and they haven't been thus far. Again, we've got to get to the peak of the season, which is September 10th. Highs in the upper 90s, so use caution if you're outdoors. Again, a slight drop in our temperatures and slight increase in rain chances toward the weekend.
All right, Chris, thank you. And we here at WWL Louisiana, we love our community, so we're giving away thousands of dollars to local nonprofits through the Tegna Foundation. These grants support causes like education, hunger, and more.
If you'd like to apply, or you know a group that should, scan the QR code on your screen, or you go to WWLTV.com and search Tegna Grant. The deadline to apply is August 16th.